Hey guys, here we are again on this Hermes design you can see on the screen. Wow, you can do this actually from the comfort of your home. You just need a pen, a paper, you need your ruler, and you need your scissors. Okay, for this pattern what I'll be needing first is my measuring ruler. So I'm going to be measuring a length of 20 centimeter, and I'll be dividing this 20 centimeter by 2, which is actually 10 centimeter. Then at the midpoint where I divided it into 2, which is where my 10 centimeter ends, I'm going to be needing a width of about 10 centimeter. So I'll be dividing my 10 centimeter into 2. When I divide my 10 centimeter into 2, it is actually 5 centimeter for each. So I'll be drawing a straight line also. The next part of this pattern is I'm going to be connecting all these parts together. I'll draw another line under, draw the line by the side, and I'm only trying to get a rectangular shape when drawing all this. Okay, so this is how it actually looks like. For this part I'm going to be needing 5 centimeter. My 5 centimeter, I'm going to be dividing it by 2, don't forget. And this part I'm going to be needing 7 centimeter, and I'll also be dividing it by 2. Okay, my 5 centimeter divided by 2 will actually give me 2.5 centimeter. Yes, when you divide 5 centimeter into 2, it will give you 2.5 centimeter. And for this other part, we said we need 7 centimeter. When we divide our 7 centimeter into 2, it gives us 3.5 centimeter. Yes, it gives us 3.5 centimeter. Now the next part I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be finding the width in between this. If you check this pattern very well, there's a curve, and the curve inside there is about 1.5 centimeter. So when we divide our 1.5 centimeter into 2, it's about 0.7. Yes, about 0.7. That's what we have. So we are going to be dividing that 1.5 into 2. That is the width that is in between the pattern we have. Yes, now for the other part of the pattern, we are going to be doing the same thing to this other side, so to get an accurate measurement when we are drawing our pattern. Don't forget. Now I'm going to be adding that to it. Now for this other parts, I'm going to be attaching it together. Don't forget the lines I drew, which is our 0.7 centimeter. I'll be attaching them together just to get the actual measurements of what we need for this pattern. This part of this pattern, the reason we are adding it is to get the accurate curve of what we have. If you check the pattern very well, I told you there's a curve in between. That was what gave us the beautiful Hermes design on the screen. So when I'm done with this part, I'm going to do the same thing to the other part. Okay, for this part also, don't forget we said we measured our 7 centimeter. Our 7 centimeter was what we divided into 2, and now we are going to be dividing this part 2 centimeter. We are no longer going to be using 1.5 centimeter. We are going to be using 2 centimeter, because if you watch the pattern very well, this other part going in under your foot is actually a bit wider than the other part. So for this part, we're going to be using 2 centimeter for it. So when we divide our 2 centimeter into 2, it gives us 1 centimeter each. So I'm going to be measuring my 1 centimeter each and drawing a straight line to connect the 2 points I have just measured. And we are almost done with this pattern actually. For this pattern, one of the things you actually need very well is to know your measurements and know how to calculate it properly. If you can calculate your measurements properly, I bet you get the best result out of this pattern we are creating. Okay, now don't forget we divided our 5 centimeter into 2 to give us this point where we are drawing a straight line right now. Okay, this part is from the middle of from where our 10 centimeter, the first drawing we had, from where our 10 centimeter from where our 10 centimeter stop. Actually, sorry for that. We are going to be drawing a line to connect it. You remember we divided our 5 centimeter into 2. That was how we got this point. And we divided our 7 centimeter into 2. That's how we got this point too. Okay, at this point I'm trying to attach a curve to this pattern. Yes, I'm trying to attach a curve to it. If you look at it, it's not, they didn't just cut it straight, there's a curve there. So I'll attach my curve to all the parts of this pattern before I trim it out. I'm going to be attaching this curve not only on these two sides, I'm going to attach it on all the sides and trim it out. I've trimmed all the excesses out of the pattern. Now I'm going to be trimming it. I'm not trimming the whole pattern. I'm going to be trimming it. I'm going to stop in here and actually giving it that curvy part of the pattern. Please don't forget. So you don't cut your own straight also. No, you have to add the curve to it. The curve inside is actually the beauty of the footwear we are making. Yes, so I'm done cutting this side. I'm going to do the same thing to the rest of the parts. I'm going to be cutting all the curves and all the edges also, and soon our pattern will be ready. For this other side, don't forget that this part is a little longer than the width of the other sides, so I'm going to be cutting it out. And wow, this is how our Hermes design actually looks like when you look at the picture. Can you see how it looks like on our last? So I hope you try this. Just try it and you see you have the same result. Wow, this looks really beautiful. I'm going to join you in the next class. Thanks for joining us into this tutorial, and I'm going to be joining you in the next class. I'm going to see you next time. The Lord bless you, and bye.